first chat to Puerto Rico. I'm excited.
Oh, cool. I hope well, now I'm representing the whole island. No pressure on me. All right,
no
sir.
pressure.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for taking the time to talk about your fantastic new show on Netflix. So, I have to tell you, as a dad of 14-year-olds, twin boys who responsibility and duty is like a foreign thing. Like, I have to say, I took to the challenge of your character. I mean, was that interesting? Because that doesn't seem to be around anymore for male characters, even in period pieces. So did you like tackling that with the journey of your character?
Yeah, I think so. I think there's areas of the patriarchy that need to be, questioned a bit more, and that's also the male role within that. Of course, it's horrific for the women who are, the only decision they're really forced to make, and the only real, license they're given is to choose who they're going to marry. But for the guys, the idea that this young man lost his father, and at the same very moment that his father died, he became a viscount and became responsible for the whole family, is ludicrous. And I think politically, in a year like 2020, we can, in the last 4 years, 8 years even, we can see figures in our own society now of men who are given responsibility that really shouldn't have that responsibility. And I think that's politically the way that I approach Anthony.
All right. So, I mean, the only reason I usually don't ask about sex scenes, and what I am going to ask about, it's not because, is did you realize that yours, in terms of whereas in the script, you kind of set the modern tone. So you have the pressure of not being awkward, of making it work, of looking good on camera. But did you think about that sort of first time we see your characters sort of, busting open what we think we're going to see for the show? Did that even enter your mind while shooting that?
Whereas in England, we have a saying, bottoms up. And that was kind of my way into the character. I think, who wouldn't want to play a character whose bottom you get to know before the face? No, I think the expression of sex in this show is so important. I think, from what I understand, period dramas, which I love that genre, we know that we're going to, at one point, we might see a lady bathing herself. We might see, a man coming out of a lake, and you might see a nipple between, the wet shirt. But we know that there's going to be a kiss probably 10 minutes before the end, and then there'll be fireworks. Whereas, we all know, hopefully, that, sex happens everywhere and all the time. And of course, in this period, there was probably more sex happening because it was so
repressed,
under wraps and repressed, And what better way to show that than to see Anthony checking his watch that he was bequeathed by his father, at the same time as making sure that he's rustling and against the family tree that is also the symbol of the show in the opening credits.
Yeah, most definitely. Which is the reason why I asked, because it does move the character and the story forward.
It really does. And also, there's I think what's brilliant about this show is that because now the way that sex scenes are filmed, we have an intimacy coordinator, which makes it incredibly safe. It means that we're really empowered in that environment as actors. So you can actually use sex now, not just to get through filming it because it's awkward, but actually use it to show how there are power differences in the relationship and how sex changes. And I think with Anthony and Sienna, that's something that we talked about, that he doesn't even look her in the eye at the beginning. And then, as the relationship becomes more complicated and more emotional for him, there's a lot more eye contact. And eventually you see her taking control of him, and she throws his arms up in the air. I think that's something that's quite interesting. And because there are now boundaries in place, and because of #MeToo, I think now we're going to be able to show different ways in which people have sex. I'm sure that's been happening for a long time, but that was my first experience of it.
No, I think you're wrong. I think this is one of the shows that does that. So thank you for sharing that. So my last question would be, I mean, Julie Andrews is sort of the icing on the cake with what you guys do here in the story. So my question to you here is, if you were to cast somebody to narrate your innermost thoughts and make your daily routine interesting, who would you choose to narrate your life?
Sir Ian McKellen.
That's perfect. Why him?
No. Do you know what? Because he's so naughty, and I feel like there's nothing that can surprise him. So however interesting your day got, he's been there, seen it, got the t-shirt, he's wearing it back to front, and he's probably naked from the waist down, and that's exactly who you want to narrate your life story.
All right, and now I think with that, it's time to end the Zoom. So thank you so much for telling me, talking to me about your show. Hopefully Puerto Rico did not disappoint. Stay healthy wherever you are.
The best. Thank you.